Welcome, everyone, to our workshop on navigating the future of technology, society, and innovation at the Waffle Games 2024 conference. My focus for this presentation may be a little bit outside of the box of gaming, but the topics I'll cover transcend all boundaries and are very much inclusive of the industry. It's important that we all have an understanding of how technology will change the way games are made, played, and integrated into society. And my hope for this workshop is to share perspective, instill hope, and inspire action. You are leaders of tomorrow. The world needs you to help usher in an era of prosperity and peace, and hopefully have fun while doing it. As a quick introduction, my name is Jeremy De La Rosa. I'm a father, founder, executive coach, advisor, writer, and healer. I've spent over 20 years in the technology industry, and I've operated in startups to large corporations and everything in between. I've lived in, traveled to, and worked in over 40 different countries. And perhaps of particular relevance to this conference, I spent 10 years at Blizzard Entertainment, where I served as a producer, helping to launch over 7 AAA games like World of Warcraft, Hearthstone, Diablo 3, Heroes of the Storm, and Overwatch. Previously, I've also founded a nonprofit organization, as well as a DAO and a Web3 protocol focused on eradicating poverty. I sit at the intersection of AI, Web3, health, and gaming. So here's my vision that I want to share with you. A world where humanity exists in symbiosis with benevolent AI, where we as a united species live in abundance, peace, and harmony with each other and Mother Nature. Now, I want you to take a moment and become aware of your reaction to that statement. Do you find yourself resisting this idea? Does it seem silly, naive, or impossible? Why do you believe that? I am here to challenge that doubt, that resistance you might have felt, and the old belief systems driving it. So our first step towards moving towards this vision is a situation assessment. Where do we stand today? We live in a time of great change, of upheaval and transition. But what does this look like? I prefer to see things from a big picture perspective, and I look at data, trends, and patterns to inform this perspective. So let's take a look. The first themes we'll look at are the challenges that humanity faces. I'll cover 4 of these: environmental issues, economic instability, political upheaval, and existential risks. Category 1 are environmental issues. The Stockholm Resilience Center measures key areas that regulate the stability and resilience of the Earth's system. This includes biosphere integrity, fresh water use, ocean acidification, and biochemical flows, among others. Over the past 20 years, we have exceeded 6 of these 9 thresholds. This means we risk generating large-scale, abrupt, and irreversible environmental changes that would drastically disrupt life on Earth as we know it. Catastrophic ecosystem collapse. We are losing our biodiversity. These charts from the OECD depict the decline of species population across the globe since 1970. This has decreased by 44%. In 50 years, 4 in 10 species have simply ceased to exist. Biodiversity is literally the root of so many aspects of our society, including entire natural ecosystems, the quality and supply of our resources, our food, our homes, and ultimately our societal and individual health. Category 2 is economic instability. Across the globe, a majority of countries' debt to gross domestic product ratio have exceeded sustainable thresholds. In plain words, governments are spending more money than they make, with a significant proportion of budget being allocated to war and territorial control. Why is this a problem? Ultimately, this economic policy leads to your money losing its value. We experience this slow suffocation as inflation. Prices rise steadily over time while your income can't keep up. This infographic from Visual Capitalist depicts the decline of our money's value over time. $1 today can barely afford you a basic coffee at McDonald's, whereas 100 years ago, it could buy you 30 Hershey's chocolate bars. In the wealthiest nations, this trend is pushing more and more people into scarcity and stress. Category 3 is political upheaval. We are witnessing a major decline of trust in institutions, government, business, media, large organizations, basically any group who are perceived to be in control. For those who have studied history, for example, the French Revolution or the rise of fascism in Germany leading up to World War II, you will know that economic turmoil is usually a precursor to disapproval, dissent, and violence. So why are people losing trust? Well, for starters, corruption is highly visible. This is a heat map of countries on a corruption perceptions index from Transparency International. The darker the red, the higher the corruption. It's not pretty. This corruption is related to the rise of autocracies across the globe. From the 2018 Corruption Perception Index, this chart plots major countries across the globe in terms of their level of democracy and corruption. Full democracies are represented on the top of the graph, and autocracies on the bottom. The left side have higher corruption, and the right side has less. And what does this mean for us? A simple yet profound and important truth. Individuals are losing their freedom. The fourth category are existential risks. Technological advancement is accelerating at an exponential rate. The fields of artificial intelligence, robotics, and bioengineering bring the promise of miraculous benefits while also risking a dystopian nightmare. It's important to recognize that technology is a neutral tool. It is not inherently good or evil. Of more concern is the human wielding that tool. What is their motivation and intent? What decisions are they making, and based off what ethical framework? Is it for the greater good or not? Our imperative is to safeguard technological development and usage, not just with retroactive safety measures, but with grounded ethical principles embedded in its design and governance. Now, I urge you not to panic. All of the information I just shared may seem depressing or disheartening, but try not to judge it for what it is. They are simply facts and truth. The key points I want to make are: 1, the systems we put in place to manage this planet are no longer working for us. 2, this is part of a larger process and cycle of change on Earth. For all the bad that might be out there, there is just as much good. And 3, these are problems that can be solved. So how do we get to that vision of the future? The answer is through innovation. Innovation solves problems, and there is no greater time for it. So let's take a look at some positive trends. Despite the economic instability in many developed nations, in aggregate, we are still seeing historic reduction in extreme poverty, in large part thanks to economic growth in China, India, Latin America, and Southeast Asia. This graph is from our World in Data, showing the percentage of population in extreme poverty since 1990. Extreme poverty defined as making less than $2 a day. In one generation, we have seen more than 1 billion people rise up, and we can keep its momentum going. Life expectancy is rising. In about 100 years, we have more than doubled the average human lifespan from 32 to 71 years, thanks in large part due to reductions in childhood mortality, but also better access to nutrition and public health. Education rates are climbing. 86% of the world's population had received some basic education services, a number that was 17% 200 years ago. Internet access is growing. Over 4.7 billion people are now connected to the internet worldwide, doubling in the past 10 years. And we still have 3 billion more to go. So in essence, billions of people around the globe are getting wealthier, healthier, and smarter. They are connecting with each other. They are waking up. The world is ready for change. The market for innovators is massive. Technology has made innovation cheap, so there is no better time to be an innovator. But what do I mean when I talk about innovation? This chart from ARK Invest depicts the impact that innovation platforms have had on the global economy over the past 200 years. You'll notice examples like the steam engine and electricity, and you've also lived through and know how drastically computers and the internet have changed our society. The era we are now stepping into represents a convergence of multiple platforms for innovation, not just one. This includes AI, robotics, bioengineering, and blockchain technology. What is unique about this period of time is that these platforms are interrelated. They reinforce and accelerate each other. And gaming is an industry layer that stands upon these foundational innovation platforms. There are boundless opportunities to be found in integrating the capabilities and experiences across this shared space. So let's consider how AI will relate to your work. I give full credit to Kai-Fu Lee's magnificent TED Talk, linked here, in which he argues how AI can save humanity. Here, he depicts categories of tasks in our economy across a spectrum of optimization to creativity or strategy. From repetitive routine, optimizing, complex, creative. Generally, these categories on the left are easier to automate, while the categories on the right are better performed by a human. Yet he posits that there's a second crucial dimension to value creation: compassion. When you overlay whether compassion is needed for a certain task, it changes the landscape dramatically. You can see the jobs where compassion is needed and where it's not. Interestingly enough, you can see how poorly we value and reward some of the jobs that are heavily compassion-oriented, yet more prone to automation. Fu Lee dubs this as the love economy. The key message here was that we can and will coexist with AI. There are different roles for different capabilities. For jobs high in optimization and low in compassion, AI will do just fine on its own. High optimization and high compassion will be symbiosis of AI and human efforts. For low compassion and high creativity tasks, AI can do most of the work guided by an AI-assisted human. And finally, for roles with high creativity and high compassion, humans with the assistance of AI tools will thrive. So what kind of skills will you need to thrive in this new era powered by AI? I believe these fundamentals are essential for any creative and strategic role you take on, regardless of the industry or specialization. You'll notice a split between inner work and external connection. Curiosity, adaptability, perseverance, mental clarity, expanded consciousness, emotional intelligence, and love and compassion. Developing these skills will set you up to be the highest version of yourself, performing optimally, wise, capable, grounded, peaceful, and powerful. Writing and creative expression allow you to take what's inside of you and translate it to the rest of the world, to make the incredible power of your thoughts and emotions concrete and clear so others can perceive and understand you. And through that, you can build connections, important reciprocal relationships, and thriving communities. In a complex world, you can't get anything done if you can't collaborate with others. And the core essence of any successful business is its community and patrons. Now, given this context of rapid change, we need to rethink our relationship with work. If technology can replace our old jobs, what does it mean to be of value? How do we quantify and exchange value in a way where human life, dignity, and a natural world are protected in the process? What systems do we need to make this happen? How do we help people navigate this transition? How can games play a part in the shift? So in hopes to inspire some ideas and aspirations, I share with you a non-exhaustive list of what I think the world really needs right now. We need new microeconomies and abundance protocols, decentralized governance and cooperation systems, open source and ethical frameworks for technology, decentralized and sustainable agriculture, waste removal and land renewal, clean and abundant energy, water purification, holistic healthcare, which includes physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, education across STEAM, plus humanities, history, and philosophy, better parenting, better caretaking, better community building. And most importantly and relevant is the integration of gaming principles into all these verticals. And so what do I mean by gaming principles? I'm not talking about just gamification. I'm talking about play and fun, storytelling, experimentation and decision-making, challenge and reward, continuous growth and learning, and healthy competition. Life is just a game when you really think about it. Why not make the whole thing more fun? In closing, I leave you with this message. As the future builders of tomorrow, we need you to lead with love. The innovation we need is that which is grounded in the heart. It is focused on truth, compassion, and connection, creating unity, opportunity, and abundance. That vision for a better world can't come true without your help. Let's make it happen. So thank you for listening to my talk. I hope you'll join me for a live Q&A on Discord. If you're interested in what I talk about, have a business idea you'd like to bring to life, or would just like to connect, you can reach me on my website or LinkedIn. Or you can also subscribe to my newsletter on Substack, where I write weekly on technology, life hacking, consciousness, philosophy, parenting, love, and other big things. Thank you again for the opportunity to share these ideas. I send you love directly from my heart. Have a good one.